Ladies, what does a man do when he's truly in love with you? I mean, we know all the grand gestures and the romantic dates and so on. But what about the subtle signs that go unnoticed? Well, stick around because I'm going to explain to you 5 signs that often go unnoticed and will help you to see your relationship or marriage in a completely different light. And in particular, make sure you stick around to point number 5 so that you truly get a good understanding of what it is that men do and why they do what they do, because men and women operate so fundamentally different in relationships that we have to understand these unique differences in order to create the best quality relationship or marriage that we possibly can. Now, the first sign is that there are going to be thoughtful routine tweaks. Now, what that means is that he's going to make subtle changes to his schedule, to his planning, to allow himself to spend some quality time with you, or just to do little things with you. It might just be changing the route that he takes to get to work, so he can maybe see you just for a couple of minutes to say hello and see how you're doing. See, when a guy's not interested, he's not going to do any of these things. He's not going to want to spend time with you. I can think of past relationships in my life, and when it came to people that I actually really wanted to spend quality time with, there's nothing I wouldn't do. I would want to spend time with them, so I would change things up. I might even just flag a gym workout for that particular day so I can go and spend some time with her. And especially with my wife, I will do anything to make sure I'm spending quality time with her. But when a man's not truly in love with his woman, when he's not really that interested, he's going to come up with excuses. He's going to just say things like, oh, look, sorry, I'm busy. Can we make it some other time? Or, those sorts of things. He's going to make regular comments. Now, of course, that's going to happen from time to time. But the majority of instances, he's going to want to spend that time with you. So he's going to make little tweaks to his schedule. It's not grand gestures that we're talking about. It's the little things that he does that demonstrates, hey, I really love you and I really love spending time with you. And he's going to want to do more of those things when he truly feels that way. Secondly, the subtle shift of interests. He starts showing a genuine interest in some of your hobbies, some of your passions, even some of the shows that you might be interested in as well. He might even just secretly just engage in a little bit of binging of those shows just so he can use that as an opportunity to connect with you. I've always said that when men make an effort to get to know their partner at a deeper level, that's a really, really wonderful sign that they're really falling in love with that person or are genuinely in love with that person. And the beauty of it is when they start to ask those questions, when they get to know you at a deeper level, and you do the same, it creates a bond that is unbreakable because no one could potentially come in and have that depth of connection that you two have. On the proviso that there is depth, you've got to recognize that. And when you can actually start to develop that beautiful connection between the two of you by getting to know one another, that can really lay a platform for something really magnificent. And when a man truly loves you, he will absolutely invest the time and the energy to get to know you, but also show more interest in the things that you're actually engaging in. It's a beautiful thing. Thirdly, the unseen acts of service. See, when a man, once again, is really in love with someone, he's going to do these little things. He's going to maybe go and fill the gas tank up. He's going to go and maybe get you the snack that you were maybe talking about a few hours ago. Or maybe even taking care of some of the tasks that you might be struggling to do because you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with a lot of stuff that's going on in your life and so on. He's going to want to do those things to help alleviate some of that stress and some of that pain and take it on himself to resolve it for you. The truth is that I know that for a lot of women, I know when I speak to my clients as well, they often tell me how my husband comes in there and tries to fix everything. But we have to remember that that really is a fundamental part of the masculine energy. Masculine energy wants to come in and actually try and fix things and resolve problems. So I really believe it's about making sure that you utilize this characteristic to your advantage in a beautiful way. So if he's doing those things, rather than maybe getting a little bit frustrated or whatever, embrace it, enjoy it, love the fact that he is actually coming from his heart and wanting to do these things for you. Not because he's trying to invalidate anything that you're feeling or anything like that. It's that he genuinely wants to serve you, and this is his way of showing that love. This is the way that he does it. Now, yes, over time you can slowly start to express more of what it is that you need and how you want it and so on. But if you can actually learn to see this as a beautiful sign that he loves you, He wouldn't be doing these things if he didn't have any interest in it. That I can promise you. You know, I was speaking to a male client of mine the other day, and he was telling me about how his wife had just come back from a holiday, and before she'd come back, he'd done all these things. You know, he cleaned the house and organized a number of things. And when she got home, she kind of just made a sort of fleeting comment, oh, the house looks nice. But that was basically it. And he was actually a little bit hurt by it because he felt like those signs of his expression of love weren't really noticed in that situation. So my invitation to you is, if you are noticing that your husband or partner is doing some of these things, really make an effort to acknowledge them and appreciate them, because it shows that he cares. It shows that he loves you, and it shows that he wants to do these things, because I promise you, he wouldn't be doing these things if he had no interest or no desire towards you. Fourthly, the playful tease. You know, when a man is starting to engage in some conversations, but in a light-hearted way, when there's some banter, when there's some fun, that there's some playful teasing in a nice way, and that he feels free enough to be able to express himself in this way, or maybe even just having some conversations about various, you know, topics going around the world or whatever. If he's willing to share those things, but in a light-hearted way where he's actually actively interested in your opinion and wants to know and get to know you more about all of those things, that's another beautiful sign that he genuinely loves you, because he won't be interested in having those conversations otherwise. He'll probably be off playing golf, or, you know, going off and hanging with his friends, or just sitting on his phone the whole time. But if he's actually engaging in these sorts of conversations and this dynamic with you, that's a really, really wonderful sign that he's actually wanting to actually connect with you. Or it's just expressing to you that this is something that's important to him, and he wants to include you in it as well. You know, a lot of the times men have these ideas or these topics that they want to talk about, but they're kind of afraid to be able to express it because they're worried that their partner is going to get all annoyed and pissed off with their viewpoints and so on. But if you can learn to understand that person's perspective, if you can both make an effort to understand each other's worlds, then that can really help to once again elevate you. Because if a man knows that he can have a conversation with his woman and she's not going to blow up about some of the points that he might have or whatever, then that immediately in his mind goes, wow, not only can I share these things, but I feel like I'm safe enough to be able to share it emotionally, that I'm not going to get dragged into the mud, or I'm not going to get criticized. I can actually share my viewpoints, and she really appreciates that. And it, once again, when you do that, it elevates someone's, for lack of a better word, share price in their own mind, and helps to really take that relationship to a whole different level. And this sort of thing only happens when a man truly loves you. And then finally, the future visionary. You see, when a man truly loves his woman, he's going to continue to make comments about the future. He's going to be talking about plans, subtle plans that he might be thinking about and wanting to try and get you involved in it. He might be talking about trips. He might be talking about investments. He might be talking about, you know, buying a home or remodeling the home or whatever it is. He'll want to talk about these things because he sees you as a part of it. And so when you're hearing these sorts of things, that's always a really good sign that he truly loves you, because once again, you know, a man is not going to want to do that if he's not in love with you. You know, I recall in a previous relationship, there was a situation where I was living in a home with this woman and we owned it together, but I didn't really see a future with her at all. And one of the things that I would always do is I would make comments about things, but I always say, oh, look, you know, should we maybe get a bed in the other room? Or should we maybe go and, you know, plan for what we're going to do when we sell the house and all that sort of stuff? I'd make little subtle comments about those things, implying that I didn't really see a future with her. And so it's really important to remember that if a guy is actually talking about, you know, trips and, you know, investments and various other things that includes you in the future, that's always a really beautiful sign that he is truly committed to you. Now, like anything, you know, every relationship is slightly different and there are nuances on this journey. So observe these 5 steps and notice if you are seeing these signs. And if there are some slight variances that you're a little bit unsure about, then just in the comment section below, just write them down, explain them to me, and I'll be happy to reply to you with my thoughts and guidance on the journey that you're on. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you some clarity and it's hopefully brightened your day in terms of some of the signs and thinking to yourself, wow, my husband is doing this, or my partner is doing this, and it can make you feel a little bit better just by knowing, hey, this relationship is going to a different level, and that's a beautiful thing. And if you want to get more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell notification as well if you want to continue to get notified for any videos that are being uploaded every single week. So what I recommend you do now is, because you've got a really good indication of the signs that your husband truly loves you, then you really want to try and take this relationship to a whole new level. And so with that in mind, what I recommend you do is click on this video below where I explain to you a little bit more about the feminine traits that can really help to create more of that spark and more of that polarity in your relationships. So check that out, and I wish you all nothing but the best. God bless you, and I'll talk to you in the next video.